Suicide and physical exercise are two words that should never belong together. But as they say, every craft has its own wisdom. What you are about to see today should never be tried at home. Today, we are with men whose kind of training has made people fear them. Some call them names, others curse them. Some call them reckless, others call them extremists. Today we are going to show you things your eyes have never seen before. And once again, I can confidently tell you that Rwanda has talent. But the talented people you are about to see today are not the kind your eyes would easily find, unless we brought them to you.
Their dreams are bigger than most people can imagine. And if you could step inside their hearts, you would understand the heavy burden they carry, the desire to make their talents known. Any opportunity they get, they do not keep it to themselves. They show their gift to anyone who passes by, because deep inside, they believe their day will come. But because of the conditions they have lived through, they have also accepted one truth: their blessing can only come from God. And they believe that when the time is right, God will use a sponsor, someone who will stand behind them and help them rise.
reason you do not often see talents like these everywhere, even though they are so unique, is because of where they come from. As you can see right now, we are in Wogo sector, Bugesera district. These young men have talent, and they truly love what they do. But behind their daily lives, there are personal stories that many people do not know. As you have seen, apart from being acrobats, these young men also dig toilets for a living, a painful reality for people with talents like these. Talents that could be showcased in places like BK Arena, in stadiums during major events, and at different ceremonies. We are here in Wogo, in Bugesera district.
We know him as one of our young men in our everyday life. This is not the only place where he works. He performs in many different places, but in his daily life, the place where he has his family is here. I did not see him when he first started doing these things, but when I later came to know him, I found him already doing them. You would see people inviting him to different places, and he would go, but still, you could see that he was not getting the kind of reward or results that matched the level of what he was doing.
What separates people can sometimes be seen in their ability to endure pain, in how much suffering the body can take, and how far a person is willing to push beyond what seems normal, strange, or even impossible. At sunrise, they go out to dig toilets for a living. But when evening comes, training takes over. For them, training has become life. Determination has become a light that never goes out. Their joy, they say, is turning the impossible into the possible. To the public, what they do is frightening. People pass by and say, "Look at those boys." But these are not ordinary boys. They are warriors. They are lions. They are fearless men. With every new day, their fear continues to fade. What wakes them up every morning is the decision to do what an ordinary person would never dare to try. And by the time the day ends, they have pushed themselves closer to their goal. You may dream of touching the clouds by boarding a plane, but Mbarushimana reaches for the clouds in his own extraordinary way. You may travel from Kigali to Gisenyi by bus, but Mbarushimana rides to Rwanda on a one-wheeled bicycle he built with his own hands. You may open the windows before lighting a gas stove, afraid of being burned, but he breathes fire. This man and his team do things that go beyond ordinary human imagination. That is why some of their neighbors accuse them of using dark powers. After all, how does a man who is almost 50 years old manage to jump over cars and walk on a rope? But beyond the fear and the rumors, this is love. This is passion. This is an extraordinary level of dedication to doing what they love. And yet, because time is money, the journey toward their biggest dream is still far from over. Today, we visit extraordinary talents we discovered deep in the countryside, two brothers and their coach. They will show us the unusual physical training they do. They will tell us how it has changed their lives, how they learned to do it.
My name is Mbarushimana Moise.
My name is Mbarushimana Enoch.
I have a wife and 4 children. Yeah.
Mbarushimana is my brother. He is the one who comes after me. I am 2 years older than him.
I come from Kayonza district. Nyamirama is our sector. That is where I was born. I came to Bugesera because of work, and later it became necessary for me to stay here. That is why I am still here today.
They say they have taken part in different competitions, but because some people use them for their own benefit, they often ended up with nothing, returning to the same humble life they had always lived. The only way they currently turn their talents into money is through street performances. People gather to watch them, and some drop coins for them. Others even give them banknotes.
We started looking for a way to survive when we were still children. We left home when we were very young, and he was the first one to move ahead of us. He came to Kigali to look for a living. When he would come back to visit us, we could see that he had changed. We could see that he had grown, and that he knew many things we did not know. I started learning a lot from him. I watched the level he had reached in his training. Even before he came to the city, he was already doing acrobatics. But at first, I did not love acrobatics, because to me it looked very difficult. Slowly, he kept bringing me into it, until I finally accepted. We came to the city together, and he started helping me overcome my fear. When we reached the streets, in places where there were many people, I would see him suddenly give them a small show. He had a one-wheeled bicycle and a rope. No one around us even knew we were about to perform there. Then he would start the show, and I would see people enjoying it. They would throw coins for him, and we would get money to buy food. That is when I realized this could work. I saw that it could actually help us survive. From there, I slowly started loving it too. He continued training me until I learned it. And after that, I began helping him.
We are brothers, and he is the older one. But because of the many things he started seeing in me, whenever I came back home, he could see that I was changing. He saw me showing him small skills, small tricks, and different things I had learned. At some point, he asked me to take him with me too, because to him, what I was doing looked extraordinary. From the time we were still children until today, we have been together. We started this journey before we even had beards, and now we have grown into men, but we are still together. Because I was the first one to go to the city, there are things I used to see from time to time. And because of the kind of talent I have, whenever I see something, I always want to learn it and do it even better. If I see talent in something, I want to train in it and take it to another level. So when I came back and showed him a few small things, he told me, "But these things look good. Why don't you take me with you too?" That is how it happened. I took him with me, but I was the one who first discovered it.
Although Mbarushimana and his brother have shown many people the stunts they perform, some still refuse to believe that these abilities are natural. Instead, they call it witchcraft. Even Mbarushimana's wife once found herself caught in that same confusion. But in that moment, Mbarushimana Moise had no choice but to explain himself.
From what we see in the things he has trained himself to do, he almost looks like someone being controlled by magic. Because the things he does are beyond ordinary ability. To us, it feels like no normal person could do those things unless some kind of magic was working through him.
Where we live, people tell her, "Your husband is a magician. Your husband is being used by demons." And sometimes, even she does not fully believe that the things I do have nothing to do with demons. But maybe the good thing is that in all the time we have been together, no evil spirit has ever come into our house for her to be afraid of. That is the fortunate part. Otherwise, even she sometimes struggles to believe what I do. For example, she may see me bringing a charcoal stove and ask, "Why does this stove look different from the others? Where are you taking it?" And I tell her, "I am going to use it to cook food while I am on my rope." So she looks at it in another way. But the truth is, there is nothing more behind it.
Is the older brother of Mbarushimana Moise. His younger brother was the first to leave for the city, where he later taught himself acrobatics because of the deep passion he had for it. During all that time, Enoch was still back home in Kayonza with no clear direction for his life. But when his younger brother returned and showed him what he had learned, Enoch was amazed. He loved it, and Moise began to teach him. That is something Enoch respects him for, even though Moise is his younger brother. And today, Enoch is the one who performs alongside him in these extraordinary physical stunts.
What makes us connect so strongly is the things he does every day. I keep learning from him because many of the things he does look very difficult to me. But the more I watch him do things that seem beyond ordinary ability and still manage to do them, the more I realize that he has a different kind of strength, a strength greater than mine. That is what makes me respect him, and he also respects me very much.
That is when I eventually came to Kigali. When I arrived in Kigali, I was digging pits for a living. But later, I heard that there was a master who had trained in Gatenga, and he had also heard about the things I was doing. Because when you are in the village, you cannot have those kinds of skills and keep them hidden. I showed people a few small things, and after they saw them, they told me there was another master who could do even more. That master had trained in Gatenga, at Karirosi, because he also respected that technique very much. It became necessary for us to find each other. We met, and I learned more knowledge from him. Today, there are many things I know because he taught me. But when we met, there were also things I already knew how to do. For example, I already knew how to walk on the rope. But he told me that for a long time, many people had ignored these kinds of skills. So I decided to take them seriously, to value them, and to keep training hard. I put a lot of effort into it, until I reached the level where I could perform the stunts you have seen.
At first, it also scared me, because many people do not believe that acrobatics is just a normal sport. Most of them think there must be some kind of traditional medicine or hidden powers involved. But because I am often around him, I see him during training, I watch him closely. And even when he gets a performance job, we usually go together. Even though I fear it and respect it at the same time, people look at it in a much more frightening way. But that is not the truth. And even when people call us those names, it does not stop us from doing what we do. Instead, it gives us more strength to keep pushing and to do even greater things than what they accuse us of doing with evil spirits.
Although acrobatics requires a strong and fit body, not everyone can teach themselves the way Mbarushimana Moise managed to do. When he wanted to learn how to ride an acrobatic bicycle, he did not wait until he had a professional one. And when he wanted to learn how to walk on a rope, he did not wait for proper equipment either. He simply bought an ordinary goat rope and started from there. There are many other examples we could mention. But beyond the fear from the public and from his own brother, who were terrified by the dangerous training Moise was putting himself through, even Moise himself sometimes reached a point where fear entered his own heart.
Personally, I do not really consider my work to be heavy labor. Early in the morning, from around 6 o'clock until 10, I can finish the kind of work that another person might take from morning until evening to complete. For me, those 4 hours are enough. After that, I take another 2 hours to spend with my master, where we talk and exchange ideas. Then I also set aside another 2 hours for my own training. So in short, the work I do does not stop me from finding time to train, because sport needs time. And if I organize everything well, I can make it all work.
One of the greatest benefits of doing what you love is the peace it brings into your everyday life. Although Mbarushimana has not yet reached a big stage where he can showcase his skills at district or national level, this training has already benefited him in different ways. It has made him known, especially in the area where he lives in Bugesera. Beyond that, it has also opened doors to different small opportunities and jobs he was able to do before life demanded more from him. Before he had to focus on finding a way to provide for his family, his wife, and their 4 children.
There was someone who had a wedding. He once saw me performing on the street, and he asked for my phone number because he had a wedding coming up. I have a brother I work well with, so I told him about it. We practiced the parade-style performances we were going to do at the wedding. We went there on a Saturday and gave them a show. He paid us 100,000 Rwandan francs because people really enjoyed it. But because we were not doing it often enough, a person can slowly start to lose motivation. Still, I could see that there was real potential in it.
Most of the time, brothers do not always connect deeply. But the way I respect him and the way I see him as a very important person. I see him like my older brother, even though I am the one who is older. That is because the things he does go beyond my understanding. They go beyond my own ability. His talent and the way he keeps discovering new things within himself is something I honestly do not even know how to describe. Sometimes I look at what he does and say, what you are doing is beyond me. That is why I feel I must stay close to him, because even if it takes time for his dream to be reached, I still believe it will happen. He loves what he does, and he respects it.
I have been doing this for about 14 years. I left home, and for 2 whole years I was fully involved in it, training and building my knowledge. But the serious skills I have today, I developed them now as a grown man, after I began to value this craft and take it seriously. Now I do it with maturity, like a man who truly understands what he is doing.
All these years, since we left home as children, we had dreams of becoming stars. Because we are acrobats, we wanted our performances to be seen in films. But because we did not have the money to make those films, because we lacked equipment, and because we did not have people who could help us take our talent further, we had to keep doing other work to survive. That work is what helps us not to abandon our talent. But we still believe that one day our talent will take us somewhere. Because when a person comes back from work, finds something to eat, and regains strength, we can continue taking care of our talent. They can continue training, because that work gives them the recovery they need to keep going.
The love Mbarushimana Moise had for physical training was not something he kept to himself. After realizing that this talent could change the course of his life, he made a journey to look for his older brother. That is how he encouraged him, inspired him, and made him fall in love with the same craft. His brother did not hesitate, because he too was searching for direction in life. Having remained deep in the village, with no clear path and no sense of where his future was heading.
The way I made him fall in love with it. At first, he did not know any sport. He did not know how to do anything. But because he would say, "He is my little brother. There is nothing he can do that I cannot also do," he kept trying. He would try and feel like it was not working. He would try again and feel like it was impossible. But because of the stunts he saw me doing, he would tell himself, "Maybe I can do this too." In the beginning, when I trained him, he would try and nothing would come out of it. He would jump and feel like it was not working. He would hang from his hands and feel like it was impossible. But I kept telling him, "Do it like this." Then I would do it myself, and he would say, "Now it is my turn." He could not accept that his little brother could do something, and he would fail to do it. That is how he slowly started to love it.
His brothers do not plan to give up this physical training or the extraordinary stunts they perform. When you look at the love they have for it, you realize that this has become a part of their lives. That is why their hearts are focused on one thing: seeing their dreams become a reality. Whether they achieve it on their own, or whether they receive support along the way, their mission remains the same: to keep training until their breakthrough comes.
But talented men like these, dropping out of school at a young age and growing up in the countryside, has had its consequences. It has made it harder for them to find their place in today's world, a world that demands knowledge, awareness, and every skill needed to move from one stage of life to another. But when it comes to the training they do every single day, they know exactly what they want, and they know where they want to go. Their vision is real. Yet on this difficult journey, they still face many challenges, especially when it comes to building even the smallest foundation for the future they dream of. Their dreams are bigger than most people can imagine, and if you could step inside their hearts, you would understand the heavy burden they carry, the desire to make their talents known. Any opportunity they get, they do not keep it to themselves. They show their gift to anyone who passes by, because deep inside, they believe their day will come. But because of the conditions they have lived through, they have also accepted one truth: their blessing can only come from God. And they believe that when the time is right, God will use a sponsor, someone who will stand behind them and help them rise.
What I truly wish for in life is to find someone who can support our talents. What you saw us do is not all we can do. There is much more. If we were lucky enough to get more performance opportunities, it would mean so much to us. We would love to perform in places like BK Arena, in stadiums, and to be invited to different events.
The Bible, the very word of God, says that whatever work you put your hands to and do well, God Himself will bless. So if these brothers have given themselves fully, sharpening their skills and pushing their training every day, and all that remains now is the blessing, where will that blessing come from? What is God waiting for? Could it be that He is waiting for His people to take the first step and help one another? But through all that uncertainty, Mbarushimana and his older brother refused to give up. They refused to lower their hands, and they refused to listen to voices that discourage them, telling them that all their effort is useless. Their journey has a beginning, And they also know the direction they are heading. Money is important because they truly need it, but this physical training has become their life, and nothing can separate them from it. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe.